Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Amara La Negra, and this is Radio 1 Original. Okay. Well, season 2 of Love and Hip-Hop Miami is definitely different from my first season. I believe that the people were able to kind of get to know who Amara La Negra was. This season, there's a little bit more drama, and I lost someone that I thought was a really good friend of mine, for which I am still somewhat hurt, because I considered her almost a sister. But that's the way of life, things don't work out sometimes, and it is what it is. I don't wish her any bad or anything like that, but there's just a lot of drama that happens with, with the show and everything. And at the end of the day, I do understand, it's still a TV show, and things happen, but there's a lot of drama. Apparently this season, this season, I just want to take everybody's man. As if I already don't have enough going on in my life. Yeah, I apparently want everybody's man because I can't get my own. But that's okay. We'll see what the third season brings. Well, I have always been an activist for the Afro-Latino community. I've been an activist for many, many years. It just so happens to be that it took Love and Hip Hop for people to actually pay attention to me, for people to actually bother to listen. And I didn't use a race card. I didn't do it for the fame. I didn't do it for anything. I spoke based off experience. I think that people can sometimes be very judgmental. And they love to point fingers. But if you've never been in that situation, if you've never been there, then you can't really necessarily be so judgmental. And I understand how every country, every culture has its own racism and colorism issue. But in my case, I come, born and raised in Miami, where there's a lot of diversity of cultures. My mother is Dominican, my father is Dominican. My mother immigrated through the Mexican border, as of, we know all the things that are happening through the Mexican border right now. But my mother immigrated through the Mexican border to get to the United States, obviously looking for a better future. And I am grateful that, that she sacrificed herself that way, because thanks to her, I am here today. But part of those sacrifices was me growing up and noticing on TV that the only people that I could truly admire and say, oh wow, she looks like me or I look like her, was Celia Cruz at that time. She was the only artist that made it worldwide, like an international worldwide artist. And that was always my vision. I was always like, I want to be like her. But after she passed away, there was nobody really to, look up to. So then I had to, look into another community, look into the African-American community, and look at the, Tina Turner's, Donna Summers, Whitney Houston, Gloria Gaynor, which are amazing, talented artists. But I always felt like, why can't I find that within my own community? Why do I have to look outside in order to find somebody that I can admire, and be like, I want to be like her? So working in the entertainment industry, in the Latin community, I always noticed that there's videos that I've even posted, because a lot of people are like, oh, you're lying. I'm like, why would I lie? There's even videos that I've posted up on my social media where you see that I started in Sábado Gigante, which was a very popular TV show with Don Francisco. And in the segment, I was the only black girl. And I was the only black girl in 50 years of TV that they had every single Saturday. So it made me question, why aren't there more people that look like me? Is there something wrong with me, or is there something wrong with them? Even as a backup dancer, I would always usually be the only one. And sometimes they never knew where to place me. Either you're placed in the middle or all the way in the back so that the choreography doesn't look weird. But why would it look weird? Because my complexion makes, points me out. I was like the bug in the middle of a cup of milk. Like, you can always just point it out. So it was very uncomfortable, but that really was what gave me the energy to be like, something needs to change. It is not fair that we are judged based off our looks and not based off our talent or based off our knowledge. And that goes for everything, from soap operas to magazine covers to movies. You rarely get to see Afro-Latinos. Well, the thing is that my biggest thing has been because of the entertainment industry, and I've been able to notice the difference there. Within my community, we know about each other. There's Colombians that are light, there's Colombians that are black, there's Puerto Ricans, Cubans, de Ecuador, Honduras, Puerto Rico, República Dominicana. I mean, the list goes on and on. There isn't a Latin country that doesn't have black people. It's just that commercially, like when, you know, they portray that Latinas look like, you know, Sofia Vergara, Salma Hayek, Jennifer Lopez, you know, this is what a Latina should look like. But that's completely false. There isn't a Latin country that doesn't have people like myself. So I would say that in the Dominican Republic, it's cool. Or in even other countries, it's cool. You do, and I have to be very sensitive the way that I say this because a lot of people will get offended, but I believe that colorism and racial issues exist all over the world. That includes my country, in the United States, in Puerto Rico, in every single country. It has different levels to it. But I do believe that it exists. Because a lot of times when they want to offend me, they'll say, la negra mierda esa. They just can't say, you know, screw you. They have to say something about my color and then add to it. So a lot of people don't even notice when they're being racist because it's just something very common. You know, something that I've said before that has happened to me and is very common in our culture is that, you know, when you are white or light skin or etc., for the most part, a lot of families, a lot of people that have that old school mentality don't want their families to mix with darker skinned people because they feel that they're making their race bad. You know, you have to make the race better by being with someone who has better features or someone that has better hair texture or someone, that's usually the mindset. You know, I was always told never marry a black man because you don't want to mess up your good features. You don't want to mess up your hair. You don't want to. And it's that awful brainwashed mentality that has happened through so many years that I want to stop. I don't think that it's fair. I think it comes out of ignorance, and someone needs to help heal that mindset. What am I doing? I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but being myself. You know, I'm not a petite girl. And I know that a lot of people feel like, oh my God, I wish I had her body, but I guess that no one is ever satisfied. But I'm not a petite girl. At some point in my life, I used to weigh 230 pounds. I lost the weight dancing. Then I became a certified Zumba instructor, for which I do no longer obviously teach, and even though I love. But I've decided to focus on other things in my career. But, you know, I understand for a very long time, as much as people find me attractive, I didn't see myself attractive. And I know the feeling of not seeing yourself the way that others may perceive you. You know, I always thought I was fat, I was ugly, turn off the light, my boobs are saggy, you know, I have cellulite, I have stretch marks, don't look at me. Like all that, and then eventually you get to this point in life where you realize this is the only body that I have. Either you take it or you leave it. Like, and that confidence that you build off the hurt caused by others is what makes you strong, what makes you confident, is what helps you, you know, just go on in life and love who you are and love your curves and your imperfections. So, you know, I hate the body shaming. I feel that society puts way too much pressure on women to look a certain type of way. And I don't feel that men get that same pressure. You know, as long as they have money, they're pretty much good for the most part. And forgive me if I'm wrong. But for women, you know, women feel the need to have perfect teeth, nails, skin, hair, lashes, feet, this, that. And, you know what I mean? It's a lot of pressure, you know. I think that the more you mature and the more you realize the true things that matter in life, you realize that that's not really what matters, you know. With time, all of this fades. But what's left is what's here and what's here. And I know that sounds corny, but it is true. Well, 2018 was a year of blessings, and coming into 2019 is even better. There's a lot of projects that I was working back then that are just coming about now, but I am working on the Spanish version of Dancing with the Stars called Mira Quien Baila, which comes out on Univision every Sunday night at 8 p.m. I am also on the second season of Love and Hiphop Miami, which comes out on Wednesday nights through VH1. My first movie called Fall Girls, directed by Chris Stoke, comes out January 12th, which is this Saturday, January 12th. What else is happening? Well, I got a really major deal with Sky Vodka, for which now I am the new face of Sky Vodka. My children's book, Amarita's Way. Amarita's Way is available on Amazon.com in Spanish and in English. Now we're working on the French version, and it is now available on Barnes & Nobles all over the United States, for which I pray that this year I will have a major network to back me up with the cartoons, which is my dream. I'm also executive producer of another movie called Man Issues. Just finished filming the first 6 episodes of my TV show called Girl Talk, which is being picked up by a major network as well. skincare line, shoe line. I mean, the list goes on and on. My EP comes out this I believe at the ending of this month of January, called Unstoppable, and we just released the first single of the EP called Understanding, which is, the music video is also available on YouTube, Vivo, etc. There's a lot of things going on.